Droupadi Murmu was sworn in as the 15th President of India on Monday. President Murmu took oath of office of the highest constitutional post of the country on Monday, followed by a 21-gun salute. In her first address as the President of India, Droupadi Murmu said that her election to the top constitutional post proves that in India the poor can not only dream but also fulfill their aspirations.
मैं द्रौपदी मुर्मू ईश्वर की शपथ लेती हूँ कि भारत के राष्ट्रपति पद का कार्यपालन करूँगी।
At 10:15 a.m. today, Droupadi Murmu became India's 15th president, creating history, becoming the first tribal to do so.
सभी का जोहार।
Opening her speech with a traditional tribal greeting, she underscored her roots, which will guide her focus in her presidency.
मैं जिस पृष्ठभूमि से आती हूँ, वहाँ मेरे लिए प्रारंभिक शिक्षा प्राप्त करना भी एक स्वप्न जैसा ही था। लेकिन अनेक बाधाओं के बावजूद मेरा संकल्प दृढ़ रहा और मैं कॉलेज जाने वाली अपने गांव की पहली बेटी थी। मेरा निर्वाचन इस बात का सबूत है कि भारत में गरीब सपने भी देख सकता है और उन्हें पूरा भी कर सकता है। मैं देश की ऐसी पहली राष्ट्रपति भी हूँ जिसका जन्म आजाद भारत में हुआ है। ये हमारे लोकतंत्र की ही शक्ति है कि उसमें एक गरीब घर के पैदा होने बेटी, दूर सुदूर आदिवासी क्षेत्र में पैदा हुई बेटी भारत के सर्वोच्च संवैधानिक पद तक पहुंच सकती है।
There was no departure in the swearing-in ceremony as the tri-services lined the route to Parliament from Rashtrapati Bhavan, giving the new president a guard of honor. Her daughter Itishri, who was present for the swearing-in ceremony, will be staying with her in Rashtrapati Bhavan for the next 5 years. Prime Minister Modi called Murmu's assumption as a watershed movement, especially for the poor and the downtrodden.
संथाल क्रांति, पाइक क्रांति से लेकर कोल क्रांति और भील क्रांति ने स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में आदिवासी योगदान को और सशक्त किया।
Governors, chief ministers, judges were all present for the swearing-in ceremony. With tribals constituting 9% of India's population and the BJP's renewed focus to showcase Murmu's rise to the highest office, the focus now shifts to her role as president and protecting India's constitution and ensuring it's followed in letter and spirit. With camera persons Ashok Male and Ashwini, Sunil Prabhu, NDTV.
And across the country, many on social media have posted old videos and photographs of President Droupadi Murmu from her past, from her previous avatars when she was governor, showing her meeting and talking with people, even performing a traditional dance with them. But for the residents of her village, she will always be Didi, despite the high offices she has held and holds.
मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, सभी का जोहार।
In far-off Mayurbhanj, an enthralled audience watched President-elect Droupadi Murmu take oath. But she is better known as Didi here in this town of Rairangpur and in her village of Upparbeda, where she began a journey of humble beginnings.
मैं जिस पृष्ठभूमि से आती हूँ, वहाँ मेरे लिए प्रारंभिक शिक्षा प्राप्त करना भी एक स्वप्न जैसा ही था।
Today, as she took oath, Droupadi Murmu referred several times to this remote landscape, its tradition and culture, and how its people see her as a symbol of hope. The Aurobindo Integral School, where she taught without taking a single rupee as a salary, came in for a special mention.
बहुत अच्छे से बच्चों को पढ़ाती थी। जो भी नहीं समझ सकता उसको प्यार से उसको समझाते थे और बच्चों को जैसे उनके अंदर में जील आए पढ़ाई के लिए फर्स्ट को लेकर चॉकलेट सामने टेबल के ऊपर रखती थी। जो अच्छा फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन देती था उसको चॉकलेट देती थी।
हम मैडम का कहना चाहेंगे कि वो हमारे स्कूल पर आए और एक बार पढ़ाए। हम बहुत ही खुश है और राष्ट्रपति बने बहुत खुश।
In her village of Uparbeda, nothing much has changed. Even today, for children here, completing their education is a struggle.
ये स्कूल तो 8 क्लास तक ही है और पढ़ने के लिए तो वो रायरंगपुर जाते हैं और सभी को तो सुविधा तो नहीं है, वो यहाँ पे पढ़ना चाहते हैं लेकिन यहाँ तो 8 क्लास तक ही है।
In her first address as President, Droupadi Murmu greeted the nation with a traditional Adivasi greeting of Johar. And for the backward tribal population of this area, her elevation has meant a dignity and a representation that they otherwise lacked. In Mayurbhanj, with Haribansh Sharma, Harsha Kumari Singh, NDTV.
And the Chinese President Xi Jinping on Monday sent a congratulatory message to India's new President Droupadi Murmu. The Chinese state media reported the message marked Mr. Xi's first direct known communication with India since the offer of assistance during the April 2021 COVID-19 second wave. Mr. Xi in the message said that India and China are important neighbors to each other and a healthy and stable China-India relationship serves the fundamental interests of the two countries and peoples and is also conducive to regional and world peace, stability and development. Meanwhile, the opposition keeps their political interests above that of the country. Prime Minister Modi said on Monday, alleging that the opposition is obstructing government's development work. This on a day when 4 Congress MPs were suspended from the Lok Sabha for the entire monsoon session that ends on the 12th of August for holding protests against price rise with placards inside the House. Proceedings in both houses of Parliament have been stalled ever since the monsoon session began last week due to protests by the opposition who are demanding a discussion on the issue of price rise.
हाल के समय में विचारधारा या राजनीतिक स्वार्थों को समाज और देश के हित से भी ऊपर रखने का चलन शुरू हो गया है। कई बार तो सरकार के कामों में विपक्ष के कुछ इसलिए अड़ंगे लगाते हैं क्योंकि जब वो सत्ता में थे तो अपने लिए फैसले वो लागू नहीं कर पाए। अब अगर उनका क्रियान्वयन होता है तो उसका विरोध करते हैं।
आप अगर चर्चा करना चाहते हैं तो 3 बजे मैं चर्चा शुरू करने को तैयार हूं और अगर आप तख्तियां और नारेबाजी करना चाहते हैं तो 3 बजे बाद आप तख्तियां नाराबाजी करने का आपको अधिकार इस सदन से बाहर होगा।
मैं नियम 374 के अंतर्गत सभा के नियमों का दुरुपयोग करने के लिए आप सभी का नाम लेता हूं। श्री मणिकम टैगोर जी, श्री टी.एन. प्रतापन जी, सुश्री ज्योतिमणि जी, सुश्री रामैया हरिदास जी।
4 Congress Lok Sabha MPs, including Congress Whip Manikam Tagore, have been suspended in the Lok Sabha for holding placards and raising slogans in the House demanding discussion on GST hike, inflation and fuel price rise.
आप सदन के अंदर तख्तियां लाना छोड़ दे माननीय सदस्य प्लीज, नहीं तो मुझे सदन की मर्यादा के लिए कार्रवाई करने के अलावा कोई विकल्प नहीं बचेगा।
All the opposition parties, led by the Congress party, is asking for a discussion in the Parliament on GST, price rise, and those issues related to the people. We will protest. We will go to Gandhi statue every day as suspended MPs. We will come back to the Parliament. We will protest and we will continue to protest.
Both the houses of Parliament were adjourned without any business conducted as opposition members protested over the price rise issue, demanding a discussion in the presence of the Prime Minister.
The House stands adjourned till 4 p.m.
The government says that the discussion will happen after Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman recovers from COVID.
सरकार महंगाई के ऊपर चर्चा करने के लिए पूरी तरीके से तैयार है। महंगाई की डिबेट से, महंगाई की चर्चा से विपक्ष भाग रही है। विपक्ष डर रही है कि उनका पर्दाफाश होगा।
इस तरीके से सदन नहीं चल सकता।
4 Congress Lok Sabha MPs have been suspended for the remaining days of the monsoon session.
अंतिम बार आग्रह कर रहा हूं।
Even last year's winter session was stormy as 12 opposition members were suspended in the Rajya Sabha for indulging in disruptions.
No placards behind the member, please. Honorable members, no.
Sources say the Rajya Sabha chairman and the Lok Sabha speaker will soon convene the meeting of the respective floor leaders to end the deadlock as the government plans to bring important legislations in the coming days. With camera person Ashwini Mehra, this is Arvind Gunasekar for NDTV.
And the Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee broke her silence on Monday on her Minister Partha Chatterjee's arrest on Friday. I don't support corruption or any wrongdoing, she said, appearing to distance herself from the Trinamool Congress leader she once counted among her closest aides. The Trinamool Congress leader Partha Banerjee, meanwhile, was shifted to the AIIMS in Bhubaneswar via an air ambulance on Monday morning, and he was greeted with the chants of "Chor, Chor" outside the hospital. He was arrested after crores of rupees in cash and valuables were recovered from the home of his aide, Arpita Mukherjee.
Actor Arpita Mukherjee being produced in court after a medical checkup. It was the recovery of cash from her residence and allegedly incriminating documents that cemented the ED's case against Partho Chatterjee, leading to his arrest. While Partho Chatterjee is considered close to Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, Arpita Mukherjee shares a close relationship with Partho Chatterjee and the Trinamool has distanced itself from her. But the ED is probing the nature of the relationship between Partho Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee.
As the BJP targets the TNC over alleged corruption, Mamata Banerjee's stern message to her party men.
যদি কেউ চোর হয়, ডাকাত হয়, তৃণমূল কংগ্রেস পেয়ার করে না। আমি নিজের ছেলেদের অ্যারেস্ট করেছি অনেকগুলো। আমি নিজের এমএলএ এমপি কাউকে স্পেয়ার করি না অন্যায় করলে, মিনিস্টারও স্পেয়ার করি না, মাথায় রাখবেন। কিন্তু অযথা আমার গায়ে কালি ছেটানোর চেষ্টা করলে মনে রাখবেন আলকাতরা কিন্তু আমার হাতেও আছে।
কিছু বলবে? আইনের উপর আস্থা রাখি, এটাই বলবো। আইনের পথে চলবে।
Arpita Mukherjee, now at the center of the ED's case against Bengal Minister Partho Chatterjee, lived much of her life in this modest home in the far-flung suburb of Belghoria near Kolkata. Her aging mother says she visited her last week for about an hour to inquire about her health.
লাস্ট কি কথা হলো আমার সাথে, কি কথা, মাকে দেখতে আসে, এদের সাথে কথাবার্তা বলে, কি খাচ্ছো, কি ওষুধ ঠিকমতো খাচ্ছো কিনা।
The Enforcement Directorate says recoveries are completed, but they are still probing assets linked to the minister and the actor. Sources say the ED is also probing alleged Hawala transactions and whether Arpita Mukherjee was just used as a conduit or had an active role to play in the conspiracy. Based on the recoveries, sources say the ED is probing 2 apparel firms linked to the actor. Arpita Mukherjee has been the face of Partho Chatterjee's Durga Pujo in Naktola area of Kolkata since 2019, and the ED says Arpita Mukherjee is closely linked to the alleged conspiracy. The ED also says Partho Chatterjee has been targeting and threatening ED officers.
Mamata Banerjee continues to take on the BJP for allegedly targeting opposition-ruled states with the help of central agencies. But in the case of Partho Chatterjee, while the party has been aggressive when it comes to targeting the BJP, they are taking a slightly more nuanced stand by saying that any action against Partho Chatterjee will follow only after the courts pronounce him guilty. Until then, the party will not tolerate any corruption. With camera person G.D. Shankar in Kolkata, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
And the Supreme Court on Monday uploaded the judgment in the Mohammad Zubair case with some important reminders to police agencies against the use of arrest as a punitive tool. Sukirti Dwivedi joins us for more on this. Sukirti, the we had a portion of the order that you shared with us and reported on the 20th of July. That was around the time when Zubair was released. But the complete judgment was uploaded only on Monday. What does it say? What are the headlines?
Well, as far as the headlines are concerned, Sarah, the main thing that we need to look at is that just like that day in this detailed judgment copy as well, the Supreme Court has in a way kind of quashed the entire arguments that were made by the UP government in terms of saying that this is not a man who's a journalist. He may claim to be a fact checker, but he is using all of the photos and videos in order to get paid for malicious tweets. But the Supreme Court, just like they had refused on July 20 to put any kind of a ban on Mohammed Zubair from tweeting. In this order, again, they are saying that this is a journalist who says that he is using the power of tweeting in order to dispel misinformation in the age of misinformation and clickbait videos and mocked images. If we put a gag order on him, it would be against the freedom of speech and expression. It would be like stopping him from his profession, and also the entire process of the multiple FIRs that the UP government had filed against him, that has also been questioned by the Supreme Court, which has said that in Zubair's case, the process itself has become the punishment. Even many dormant FIRs from last year have been activated, which made things even more difficult for him, and arrest cannot be used as a punitive tool. It talks about how it is like using the entire might of the state against a lone individual, and that is not how all of these laws and the concept of arrest is supposed to work as. So a lot of these big statements from the Supreme Court, which has protected Zubair on that day by providing him interim bail in all existing as well as new FIRs, but the fact that Supreme Court has gone into such detail and given an order like this, it's something that would hold a lot of significance for other journalists as well who may face similar cases later.
So keep the reporting there. Thank you. And days after the Kalla-Kurichi incident, another class 12 student has been found dead in Tiruvallur in Tamil Nadu. Suicide is suspected. A class 12 student of a government-aided school near Tiruvallur has been found dead on Monday on the premises of the institution-run hostel. An FIR has been registered.
Protests in Tiruttani after a class 12 student was found hanging this morning at a school hostel in Tiruvallur district, around 75 kilometers away from Chennai. No suicide note has been found. Police have been deployed in big numbers both at a school and village as a precautionary measure. The case has been transferred to the CID's crime branch as a recent High Court order said any suspicious death in an educational institution will be probed by the CID.
எல்லாரும் அவங்களோட முதல் கட்ட நடவடிக்கையை என்கொயரி பண்ணிட்டாங்க. ஸோ பண்ணிட்டு இப்போ தற்கொலைன்றதுனால மாணவின்றதுனால இப்போ ரீசெண்டான ஹைகோர்ட்டோட ஸ்டிப்புலேஷன் இருக்கிறதுனால அதை இமீடியட்டாக நாங்கள் வந்து சிபிசிஐடிக்கு ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபர் பண்ணிட்டோம்.
It's a disturbing trend. Last week, riots broke out in Kalla-Kurichi district 5 days after Srimati, a class 12 student, was found dead in suspicious circumstances at a college hostel. In a note, she had blamed 2 teachers of humiliating her over her academic performance. 5 members from the school, including 2 teachers and the principal, have been arrested.
I urge Honorable Minister of School Education, Anbil Mahesh Sir, to immediately take action to appoint school counsellors in schools. Appointing a school counsellor is as much important as having teachers in the school, because children will open up and speak to school counsellors only.
Unrelated cases, but a disturbing trend of youngsters unable to cope with academic and other pressures both at home and school. Besides relationship issues on return to physical classes after a long phase of online learning. Tamil Nadu leads in higher education, but this would require systemic corrective action. In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, for NDTV.
Entertainment news now. A struggling actor has been arrested for allegedly giving death threats to actors Katrina Kaif and Vicky Kaushal through social media. The Mumbai police say a case has been registered at the Santa Cruz police station. The actor, identified as Ranveer Singh, is from UP's Lucknow, and he was reportedly struggling to get work in films and TV series in Mumbai. He's said to be a fan of Katrina Kaif, and according to the police, the actors were getting threats on Instagram, and the accused was stalking Katrina Kaif and threatening her. Based on the complaint, the Santa Cruz police have registered an FIR against this man for stalking and registered a case under the IT Act. And that's not all. Now, an application has been filed with the Mumbai police seeking the registration of a first information report or an FIR against the Bollywood actor Ranveer Singh for hurting the sentiments of women through his nude photographs on social media. The complainant stated the actor has hurt the sentiments of women, insulted their modesty through his photographs. The complainant has demanded a registration of a case against the actor under the Information and Technology Act and various other sections of the Indian Penal Code. That's the news at this hour. Bye-bye.